some of the different styles of Primitivo that we have in Puglia. I'm not from Puglia, I say we in Puglia, but okay, because everyone in Italy is from Puglia from March to September. Then they come back with their mind in their sad homes, but when it's summer, when it's warm, Puglia is the place to be in Italy. Zinfandel, you know, that is closely related from a genetical point of view with the Primitivo, so it's really interesting to make this confrontation, because different terroir, different climate, but most of all different mind, different technical from oenological point of view. The first one is not actually a typical fruit bomb Zinfandel, just to show you that even in the United States they developed a lot of different styles with Zinfandel, so it's difficult to find only one Zinfandel in the selection of a winery. Usually they have 2 or 3 of them, and sometimes mixed with Carignan, Petit Syrah. It's not easy to find 100%. The first 3 are 2015. They are really the younger one.
Manuel, ho bisogno che mi riprendi qualcuno che prende nota, che sta prendendo nota sul fogliettino per riconoscere il vino.
Okay, the first one is very. We have started for the drier, so it's very red fruit, red berries, also some Mediterranean notes, some spicy notes, and despite the alcohol, okay, we will. It's in the morning and we will drink wines that reach out 16 degrees of percentage of alcohol, but it's part of the game, because you feel a lot of tannins, a lot of structure, and it's difficult to have a balance if you don't have alcohol. So it's useful to lower the alcohol, since also the tannin extraction is some years ago was not so, but in this way in the last year they developed how to extract the tannins also from Zinfandel. So the first one is a sample of a dry style, but still very elegant. A lot of sensuality in the nose, especially in the mouth. Is warm, is rich, but is not excessive. It's very pleasure to drink. It's also wine that you can think about a lot of pairing on the food. It doesn't cover what you have in your dish. The second one is okay. If you know, we're coming from Mount Wieder, just to show you some, and is a more typical Zinfandel that we get used. No, is more fruity, darker, more body, very seductive at the nose, and got some more warm color. And it's the same vintage, but you say also from the color is a little bit brownier, and is probably what, when you think about the Zinfandel, Californian Zinfandel, you think about something like this. So plum, blueberries, cassis, licorice, chocolate notes. Can be worse or better, depends how much you like the oak. But okay, can be also ochre, but I don't think it exists ochre, but more oaky notes. That's what I wanted to say. And in mouth, you feel that the sweetness is really possible to perceive. The acidity is a little bit lower than the other one, and also the alcohol level you start to feel this alcohol level. I have to say sorry, because in Italy it's not easy to find the correct temperature of serving temperature. But imagine this wine 3 to 4 centigrades lower is perfect, because the tannins is not so rich like the first one. So you have to imagine a little bit lower temperature is another one equilibrium. So it's
riesci un minuto a dire
in italiano?
In italiano, non tutto quello
sì, va bene. Ok.
Allora aspetta, così, e ti tira le spalle loro, e gli dici, così stai no, scusi, stai spiegando a loro le differenze dei vini, ho capito che stanno...
Sì, vabbè, quello...
Però molto sintetico.
Abbiamo iniziato il nostro percorso dalla California, dallo Zinfandel, e abbiamo cominciato a studiarne il naso, a capire che effettivamente lo Zinfandel si sente subito, conosce il primitivo che sono vicini, ci sono queste note di frutta rossa, di frutta nera, queste note quasi di macchia mediterranea diremmo, la vigilanza, il tabacco e poi la gradazione alcolica, che per esempio nel primo vino si percepiva meno, era un Zinfandel un po' più secco, un po' più fresco, un po' diverso dal classico Zinfandel che immaginiamo della California. Invece sul secondo è abbastanza lo Zinfandel classico, quindi molto rotondo, strutturato, ma più cioccolato, quindi molto goloso, magari da servire qualche grado di temperatura più inferiore. Però abbiamo appena iniziato ed è interessante capire come con lo Zinfandel non si fa solo un vino ma diversi tipi. Ok, talking about a little bit of technique about Zinfandel, it's possible to make different fermentation, especially in California they discovered that if they use lower fermentation temperature, it's possible to put more in evidence the zesty character of the nose, so it's more not only spicy but also fresh. So that's one of the trick that they use in the Zinfandel in the United States, and also we will see in Primitivo is not vinified all the same way, especially for the wood. What will be clear is that the use of the oak in California is more advanced. So they start from the beginning with the use of the barrique. In Primitivo di Manduria they are developing their own style using the wood. For my opinion, in California they are well ahead. When it comes to the younger version, probably Primitivo is more interesting. When the aged version, probably in California they develop it away. So it's interesting also to feel the oaky notes when they follow the sensation. Other notes, bergamot, clove, sometimes cardamom, is oriental spice, but these are the we see also in Primitivo is really the grape that reacts with the wood. It's really interesting when it comes out, but also without wood the Primitivo is able to evolve into this wonderful aroma. I'm hurrying just because we have to taste 15 wines. No? We are focusing not in every wine, but just to have a panoramic of all of these. The third one is probably the most famous of the winery we have here. They have a huge array of Zinfandels, and here you can feel also a lot of important of the oak notes, the licorice, vanilla, and other sweet notes, but also some balsamic, thymus, mint, and of course the fruity. Really balsamic, really opens your nose. When it comes on your mouth, is more similar to the first one, so freshness, richness, and probably it is not, you cannot serve so low temperature because the tannins are richer, and also the length in your mouth is wider than the other two. It really remains a lot in the palate, and it's really full satisfying wine, long version, but still fresh, and if you think about food pairing, this is probably between the first three is the more useful, the most easy to serve. In the last two wines were chosen because they are old wines. Old wines in all the wine world is probably the next phenomenon, after the oak, after the natural wines. The old wines goes well beyond the natural definition, because sometimes in the world they are without ungrafted. Of course, not in California, where all the Zinfandel are ungrafted, because there's no phylloxera. There's the phylloxera, but of course the roots of the vines during the years has developed a way to react. So the old vines usually they are more resistant to the variation of the climate, especially in the last year. It's very important if you have very long story vines, because they react very well to the drier condition, for the warmer climate, and is not a single vineyard, this one, but is collected between amongst the different plants, the older vines in the plant. The oldest one is 130 years, and the younger is 40 years. So they really were planted much a long time ago. They comes from Napa, from Sonoma, Mendocino, Lodi, Amador, Paso Robles. So it's very interesting, because it's really the history of the Zinfandel in California. Probably it's not the best Zinfandel, but if you want to taste the history, this one is one of the more interesting.
Vintages for the last 4 and 5 vintages?
No, this one is 14, and the last one of this fight is 13. Yes, I think. Then we show. Okay, so but this one got 1 year, then the other one is. You see that is another thing is the balance is more delicate. You can almost think not a Pinot Noir, but totally different idea of Zinfandel. No, it's not about power. It's not about extreme fruitiness. Also, the oaky notes. Of course, they not use 100% new oak in this one, because the fruit is so delicate, balanced, that it need not to be covered with the oak. Is it?
It's like
a good ripasso or a good ripasso seems like this one. It depends on your point of view. But in my opinion, in this one you feel more the saltiness, no? The mineral side. Usually the ripasso is more concentration. In the ripasso is not used the more aged vines. So this particular fineness is very typical in the old wines. And something that also in Manduria, and there are a lot of and we will taste among the 5 Primitivo, one of the oldest vines in Puglia. So it's really interesting to make this kind of confrontation. And also the other one is old wines. I think it's 2013, and we are in Dry Creek Valley. So these are not coming from different valleys, but just one. And is the average here of the vines is 70 years. Also, this one is really old, and is. Probably this one start to show some evolution notes, you know, so more sandal, licorice, some tobacco notes, and it's really start to change in something totally different wines. It very much like this version of Zinfandel, because we are already think about the fruit bomb, and we don't think that in the age can age in such a good way. The only problem with this wine is the tannins, no? They are not so aggressive like the other one, they are relative around. You can... No, sì, fa dire scusate, no, se non si muore. Sì. Oh, you can pour the wine in the bucket, so with... Otherwise, we spend too much time in changing the glasses. If some of you want to change, we can put new glasses. But we love the environment. We don't want to waste water and other. So I think that the first flight, even for me, of course I don't taste Zinfandel all the day in my life. I work in Tuscany, in Italy, in France, but when I occur in some Zinfandel, unfortunately I find that they put on the wine list just to have a fruit bomb and not to have something more elegant. That's a pity. It happened also for the Primitivo, and also for the Amarone, that you only think about the first step of this wonderful wine and don't go beyond the other styles.